Hello friends. Okay, this is video number 2, and in video number 2 I'm going to show you some initial symbology in the movie, and then back to backwardsmen. That's an anagram for backward men. The same concept or derogatory or a slur or loath is put upon man in the movie. That movie is called Planet of the Apes. You know, when men are running like wild animals and so on. It's really the same of the same concept, of the same approach, of the same understanding of life and so on toward man. That's us. And all these are interrelated and interlinked, and they nourish from the same source. The Animal Farm, Brave New World, 1984, right? 1984, and many other things, right? They all are interconnected, similar to the interconnection and relationship that is not so obvious between communism and Nazism, and then revolution of Iran and so on and so forth. So I'm going to show you some symbology here. And the anagram, backwardsmen mean backward men. You know, like we men are not capable of being Superman, so we were made to sacrifice ourselves and all for Superman, who is Rabbi Kubrick, Nietzsche. And at the same time, we don't get rewarded for it. Say, for example, you do what you do, similar to the concept is that of really Animal Farm. You know, you raise the cows, you feed them, and then you slaughter them for food. If they show anything that is not so acceptable by the farmer, guess what? You know? All right. So, 2001 Space Odyssey, right? 2001 Space Odyssey. 2001 is a coiled snake. I have seen such symbology before in some book. It goes like this. Right? And they show it as a coiled snake, and you see that in a number of places, right? Space Odyssey, whenever there is any mention of space in those movies or those books, that would be, like for example, they would be speaking or meaning or anagramming or hinting at God, right? So as you can see, the snake, and again, I have seen this 2001 illustrated as a snake before, right? And Space Odyssey means really they mean God, right? Whenever you see a movie like Alien, right? Alien, they're also speaking about entity from space, and that's God as well, right? So all these movies that you see, these are about God, right? And then, for example, take The Exorcist, for example. Exorcist, at one point, Dr. Klein tells that woman, Reagan's mother, that they call God, right? D-C, C-U-N-T, right? People think that's a slur about something, like the girl. That's very ugly, very foul, folks. But what it is really is in fact they are calling God D.C. That's what it is, right? So all these movies center around the same thing in that matter, and it's in fact in certain books as well. Now here's something I want to show you. Oh, by the way, I bought this just for this purpose. In 2001, year 2001, something happened, big, right? It's called September 11, right? 2001. Now the 11, so September is the 9th, right? 9, 11, 01, right? The 11 is the two towers. 9 is some number, I do not know. 2001 is really the coiled snake. Now, if you take those in English uh, and write 9, 11, 01, just remove the 0 for purpose of clarity. Connect these two, you get a word. What is that word? It's really, in Arabic, it's really Allah, right? Now, you may say it doesn't work because these are 4 letters when it's really, in fact, Allah has 5 letters, right? But really, in Arabic, it is not 5 letters. There's something in Arabic called extension at the A, right? So sometimes the A is extended by 2 movements, but sometimes by 4, sometimes by 6, as long as 6. So I would say Allah, and I would count 2, right? Or I would tense it. There's something called tensor, meaning the letter becomes tense, but it's really 1 letter. This is very important. What I'm saying here is very important for explaining or understanding what I am, my commentary about the movie here. So Allah really is not exactly 4 letter, but it's really I mean, not 5 letters, but it's really 4 letters. But when we translate it into English, we say double L, right? But it's really a tensor, right? So 9/11 is really Allah. Now, did Allah have anything to do with the destruction of the 2 towers, right? 2 towers, remember? No, he didn't have anything to do with it. But there are those who made that movie. They try to unconsciously induce into your mind that this is who is the culprit is. And afterwards, a global war on Islam was declared, right? Or terrorism, for that matter. So this is very important. The 4 is very important, right? 2001 is 4, 9/11, 1, 4. 2 is duality. The 2 buildings were destroyed, right? In New York, and then 1 building was erected. The 2 was taken out, and 1 building was erected for the oneness, right? There's no longer any duality. What ensued is very simple. And I think the sides of the building way upstairs are 8, right? Are 8. So as you can see, we Muslims have nothing to do with that September 11th, although it denotes that, right? And whoever did it is really commencing a global war against Islam. That's all there is to it. So that's that here. So you would know what I am talking about in the movie. One more note here. In the movie, there's Hal. Hal, right? And people interpreted that as IBM or anything else. No. This movie is got to do something with the Middle East, right? Arabs, right? And when you talk Arabic, you read it from right to left. So this really is not Hal, but it is La. Right? Because now we're reading this way. So La really is Allah. So the word Allah means the La, or Al, A-L, and then La, right? But La, Al, La is God or Lord, right? Al is T-H-E, the Lord. That's what Allah means, really, literally speaking. But then eventually it was merged together, kind of inducted together, and became the name of Allah, God. In fact, we have 99 names for God, right? But these are not names. These are descriptions. Nobody knows his name. There is that his great name that he mentions sometimes through the prophet, but he really never says what it is. You have to figure it out. If you know what it is, then you know what it is. So these 99 names, which contains the word Allah, right, are in fact descriptions, traits of himself, right? But and they're considered names at the same time. So that's that. So when Hal is mentioned, it's really La or Allah, right? God. Uh, but why didn't he say God? He used the Arabic term for it, Allah, right? Or La. Well, because that's whom he's talking about. So I'm going to give you a clue now. This clue is about the monolith. But the monolith, I'm going to give you the clue, but I'm going to change it later. Let's put it this way. The monolith, initially, I thought of it as the cubic house in Mecca. And that you will find out it is, right? But in the middle and toward the end of the movie, I will explain to you why Kubrick has, in fact, used that cubic house in Mecca. I heard and I read somewhere, I didn't read the book, right, by Arthur C. Clarke, uh, that the initial draft was not a black monolith or the cubic house in Mecca. Rather, it was some kind of a man creature, right? So that's a clue. You will watch that with me, and I will prove it to you at the start of the movie. But then at the end of the picture or the film, right? I will show you what he really is trying to say the black monolith is. So it kind of morphs from the beginning to the end. So that's a hint. The other hint I'm going to tell you is this movie is not really in space. No, by no means. The only relationship between this movie and space is that it's happening on Earth, but then Earth is floating in space, right? That's all the relationship between this movie and space, but it's not space at all. Some of it, like I said, it's a sad thing. Why are we attracted to it? It uses heavy duty psychological spin zones, like it weaves and cobweb into our mind, and our minds, when they see a real mystery, they get interested. Our unconscious begin to kind of try to decipher it and observe it, and then gets attracted to it like a moth to a fire, right, or a light. That's the second video, and today is July 17th, 2023, and then that's the second video. Next video, I will begin the movie, and then I don't know how long it's going to take. The movie itself is a little bit long, and I will try to quote Friedrich Nietzsche. Again, you will have to really, if you know Friedrich Nietzsche and his book, Thus Spake Zarathustra, then you will understand better. You have better understanding of this movie, because much of it, not all, but a lot of it is really taken from that book, from the naughty Fred, and then Rabbi Nietzsche, right? I call that book or him Rabbi Super Nietzsche, like Superman. All right, on to the next video.